Good day, dear students. Today's topic of the lecture is the energy and energy transfer. As you may know, the thermodynamics is working with the working fluids and the energy transfer between them. Also, working fluids could be used as a transition matter to produce one type of electricity from another. For example, chemical energy could be produced into heat. Heat could be conceived by the gases, and gases in order could produce the mechanical energy, and mechanical energy can produce electrical energy. This is the steps of the for example thermal power station, which will be considered in the following lectures. So let's begin. We are familiar with the conservation of energy principle, which says that the energy is not coming from anywhere and never going to nowhere, which is an expression of the first law of thermodynamics back from our high school years and from the first introduction lectures of this subject. We are told repeatedly that energy cannot be created or destroyed during a process. It can only be changed from one form to another. This seems simple enough, but let's test ourselves to see how well we understand and truly believe in this principle. Consider a room whose door and windows are tightly closed and those walls are well insulated so that heat loss or gain through the walls is negligible. Now let's place the refrigerator in the middle of the room with its door open and plug it into a wall outlet. You may even use a small fan to circulate the air in order to maintain temperature uniformity in the room. Now, what do you think what will happen to the average temperature of air in the room? Will it be increasing or decreasing? Or will it remain constant? This is a very interesting question. Why? Because as you can see, the closed room has the temperature, and the refrigerator has its own temperature. It's it's close to the zero, and the temperature is around 20-25 degrees centigrade. So when you open the fridge, the amount of cold is transferred to the room. But to produce such amount of cold, we need to preserve as much as amount of heat, which means that the amount of heat that is generated by the refrigerator is equal to the amount of cold that is generated by the refrigerator too. So generally speaking, the temperature of the well sealed and insulated room will stay same. Energy can exist in numerous forms such as thermal, mechanical, kinetic, potential, electric, magnetic, chemical, nuclear, and the sum constitutes the total energy of a system. The total energy of a system a unit mass basis is denoted by the E and is expressed as E equal to big E divided by the mass, which means that the for example kilojoules per kilogram. Thermodynamics provides no information about absolute value of the total energy. I'm sorry. It deals only with the change of the total energy, which is what matters in engineering problems. Thus, the total energy of a system can be assigned the value of zero at some convenient reference point. The change in the total energy of a system is independent of the reference point selected. The decrease in the potential energy of the falling rock, for example, depends on only the elevation difference, and not the reference level selected. Excuse me. Let us continue. For example, depends only on the elevation difference and not the reference level selected. For example, if you put the rock on the top of the highest mountain and just level it for 1 meter, the difference of the potential energy and the kinetic energy will be around 1 kilojoule, for example. But if you go on the lowest level, like minus 1000 meters, and drop it from 1000 meters, it will show the difference of 1000 kilojoule, which means that there is only the difference, elevation difference, not on the level selected. In thermodynamic analysis, it is often helpful to consider the various forms of energy that make up the total energy of a system in two groups, microscopic and macroscopic. The macroscopic forms of energy are those a system possesses as a whole with respect to some outside reference frame, such as kinetic and potential energies. The microscopic forms of energy are those related to the molecular structure of a system and the degree of the molecular activity, and they are independent of outside reference frames. The sum of all the microscopic forms of energy is called the internal energy of a system and is denoted by big U. Mechanical energy. The mechanical energy can be defined as the form of energy that can be converted to mechanical work completely and directly by an ideal mechanical device such as an ideal turbine. Kinetic and potential. We must mention one thing. The word ideal is not just simple word. It means that only in ideal turbine, you can convert mechanical energy completely. The completely and ideal are words that should be referenced. If it's just a turbine, then the mechanical work could be converted to mechanical work. We can get mechanical work by turbine, which means that some part of the mechanical energy are transferred to another during the processes of conversion. For example, heat energy. And generally, this works for all the types of heat engines. engines. Kinetic and potential energies are the familiar forms of mechanical energy. Thermal energy is not mechanical energy. However, since it's not can be converted to work directly and completely, and the turbine extracts mechanical energy from a fluid by dropping its pressure. A pump transfers mechanical energy to a fluid by raising its pressure, and the turbine extracts mechanical energy from a fluid by dropping its pressure. Therefore, the pressure of a flowing fluid is also associated with its mechanical energy. In fact, the pressure unit Pascal is equivalent to Newton divided by the square meters, or Joule divided by cubic meter, which is energy per unit volume, and the product's PV, or its equivalent, P divided by R, has the unit of Joule per kilogram, which is energy per unit mass. Note that the pressure itself is not a form of energy but a pressure force acting on a fluid through a distance produces work called flow work in the amount of P divided by R per unit mass. Flow work is expressed in terms of fluid properties, and it's convenient to view it as part of the energy of a flowing fluid and call it flow energy. Heat is one of the most used types of energy. Heat is defined as the form of energy that is transferred between two systems by virtue of a temperature differences. For example, the soda. If the temperature of the room is equal to 25 degrees, and you put soda with the same degree of temperature, 25 degrees, the soda will not produce anything. If you put the soda with 50 degrees to the room of 25 degrees, the heat will be transferred from the room to the soda. And if you put the soda of 5 degrees, it will be cold enough to produce the condensate, as you can see on the picture on the left here. And the amount of heat will be 16 joule per second, which means 16 watts. Then that is an energy interaction. Is heat only if it takes place because of the temperature difference. That's what's showing us. Then it follows as there cannot be any heat transfer between two systems that are at the same temperature. A process during which there is no heat transfer is called adiabatic process. The word adiabatic comes from the Greek word adiabatos, which means not be passed. There are two ways the process can be adiabatic. Either the system is well insulated so that only a negligible amount of heat can pass through the boundary, or both the system and the surroundings are at the same temperature, and therefore there is no driving force for heat transfer. Adiabatic process should not be confused with an isothermal process. Even though there is no heat transfer during an adiabatic process, the energy content and thus the temperature of the system can still be changed by other means, such as work. That's the difference. Energy transfer by work. Work, like heat, is an energy interaction between a system and its surroundings. As mentioned earlier, energy can cross the boundary of a closed system in the form of heat or work. Therefore, if the energy crossing the boundary of a closed system is not heat, it must be work. Heat is easy to recognize. Its driving force is a temperature difference between the system and its surroundings. Then we can simply say that energy interaction that is not caused by temperature difference between system and its surrounding is work. More specifically, work is the energy transfer associated with a force acting through distance. A rising piston, a rotating shaft, an electric wire crossing the system boundaries are all associated with work interactions. Well, dear student, that's all for today. Thank you for your attention.